Welcome once again. It's time for the Comics Coffee Table. Pull up a chair. Bring a cuppa. What are you shoving under your nose today there, pal? Ha ha. Sláinte, skål to your health, to your mental, physical, spiritual, emotional health, to you, your friends, and your family, and everyone in your life, especially you. Thank you so much for tuning in today. This is a 3 p.m. U.S. Eastern daily comic book shop style conversation that we like to have here at our very own coffee table. This show started last year with a hardcover coffee table book given to me about 2 decades ago by one of my best friends. This has been surfing my coffee table ever since and has provided us with at least a year's worth of comic book shop style conversations. And this has been going on. And as I promised, we're going to talk about comic books every day for the rest of the year. We still are. And so hence, we meet here at our coffee table. And the coffee table has been where me and my friends have always congregated, hung out, shared stories, and also suggested, movies, music, and books, comic books, especially stacks of comic books. And that's what we're here for. We're going to leave behind the real world for a couple of minutes. We're going to embrace escapism, and we're going to concentrate on why we love this hobby and how we can love it better with a better, intention and focus. This year, I'm using these two books. The Overstreet's Guide to Grading Comics. This is the 6th edition, published in 2021. So this is the most current edition, okay? And the most current edition of the Overstreet Comic Book Price Guide, the 52nd edition. There are links in the description to its Amazon pages for all of these publications, especially this beautiful big book. This is full of love. This got a lot of traction. People are very pleased with this book, and I would tell you to look in the description, find the Amazon page, and get your own copy. It will look great on your coffee table too, and it makes a great gift for a geek. You deserve one. This is a 2004 Abrams publication, written and curated by Les Daniels and Chip Kidd, and photographed by Jeff Spear. I mean, I love pimping this book in particular. It brought us together. I know, because it's February the 1st, and last year, I think the show started taking off about April. About April, I started seeing like consistent views in the double digits. And I was pretty proud of that. It was because you can see that's, oh, hey, look, I'm getting, we're having growth. More people are showing up to our conversations. And because early in the days of the show, last year specifically, we have newer viewers and who really liked the book. So you might have missed last year's show in last year's page. So therefore, I'm going to do a quick redo of last year's page because it's a really good one. And you can't help but smile. And look at that. This is great. Last year on February 1st, 2002, I made a 6-minute and 18-second long video that got 3 views. That's probably two of you out there right now. Yay, thank you for sticking with us. And Pikachu, my production team here from our Boston studios, Pika, Drinka, and Sully. Here we go. And, the producer, the labor, and the talent. All right, from February 1st, this is art by Jerry Robinson from the cover of World's Finest Comics, issue number 2, Summer of 1941. This is from the cover. Oh, look at that beautiful art. This is great. Isn't that a Robin? Look at that. That's Robin. No arguing. Look at that. Look at that face. Look at that smile. That's beautiful. I think that's great art. The New York's World Fair of 1939 inspired DC to publish a 1939 comic book entitled, appropriately enough, New York's World's Fair Comics. At 96 pages, it was considerably longer than the average comic and sold for the premium of 15 cents. Stories about, and that was when comic books were 10 cents, and I believe 64 pages. Yeah. Stories about many of DC's top heroes were featured, including Superman and Batman. The idea went over, and DC inaugurated something in the same format entitled World's Best Comics, spring of 1941. The second issue was called World's Finest Comics, and that name stuck. Superman and Batman, plus Robin, were featured on the covers, but appeared in separate stories until, you guessed it, 1948. No, 1954. That's right, 1954. I'm wrong. I read that wrong. Sorry. Until 1954, when rising prices and shrinking pagination pushed DC's top two heroes into one story, the alliance continued for years. That's right, it was 1954, right near the end of the Golden Age. Why did I think 48? Something happened in 1948. I think that was that like a All-Star Comics? You know what? I'm going to stop that right there. And thank you for playing Catch Up with Yesteryear in last year's page. Awesome. Speaking of Batman and Robin, I found this in my long box. This is recent enough because, you can see from the logo. DC changed this logo about 2015, 2016 with Rebirth, and that's the branding that we've had ever since. And this is a really nice, it's a trade paperback. It's $20. I mean, this is a usual format. This is the usual format. This is non-canonical, not in continuity. No, this is specifically told in the wonderful and glorious Batman the Animated Universe, Batman the Animated Series universe, by Paul Dini and Bruce Timm. Ty Templeton did the art for this comic book, and nailed that. And also it was Rick Burkett, Tim Harkins, and Brandon Cruz. And let's see. Let's look at the indicia of this. Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure I got this used in the used bin too. I might have picked this up brand new because I was looking for some. I love Batman the Animated Series. Okay, these are reprints. Here's the particulars. There's the masthead. Hello. Those are all the big names. You might remember some of these big names from some YouTube stations, that talk about, the direction of our big two superheroes, and who allows certain green lights for what. Here we go. And here's the that's it. Look at that cover. Look at that. That's it. I love it. And that's the issue 1. Paul Dini, Ty Templeton, and all of these artists just successfully pulling off the Bruce Timm style of the Batman, which is a beloved iteration of the character. And this was Batman and Robin Adventures #1, published by DC Comics, compilation and all new material, copyright 2016. All right, that's when this was published. All rights reserved. Originally published in single magazine form in Batman and Robin Adventures numbers 1 through 10. Copyright 1995 and 1996. Right on. Yeah, I wasn't buying comic books then. The Dark Knight, the Boy Wonder, the world's greatest crime fighters. Yeah, this was some good stuff. Speaking of seeing Batman and Robin and Superman too. I mean, I found this in my long box. Now, once again, let's notice the maker's mark. All right, it's changed. This was from, I believe, this is from the New 52 era. or right before the New 52 era, I believe. Yeah, this was from right before. This was like, I guess, the Liquid Drop. They had moved on from the traditional DC Bullet, and see, it's like turning a page, and yeah, that was DC Comics for a couple of years. DC Comics went through like an identity crisis, changing their Bullet logo, I think, 4 times in 20 years or so, and in addition, moving their offices from Manhattan, New York City, to Burbank and in the Warner studio lot to be closer to like the corporate syzygy of what's going on in media. And yeah, so that's part of the tonal shift in comics. And the reason why we embrace like older stuff. This went for $17.99. And this is a great story. I mean, if you can just read that real quick. This is a What If, or an Elseworlds title. And this is what if Superman's spaceship, when he crash landed on Earth, what if he crash landed in the Ukraine, in Soviet Ukraine, and grew up to a farmer life there with those values. This is written by Mark Millar, and art by Dave Johnson and Andrew Robinson, with Killian Plunkett and Walden Wong are the artists. Paul Mounts is the colorist. Ken Lopez is the letterer. And this is just done, like, just look at the font. It's done in the Soviet style. Now, we had a lot of younger viewers in the 20th century, the early 20th century. Russia went, in World War I, had a revolution, going from a monarchy to what we knew as the USSR, the United Soviet Satellite Republic. Was that it? But Russia became part of this. It was communism, socialism, communism. It was all Marxism, by the way. Let me know in the comment section. Like I said, I'm only so smart, but I know how to look shit up. And but the Soviet Union were like the bad guys in a way too. And this is great. They were the ideological counterpart to capitalism and the United States of America and the Western way of life. So this is a great what if story. What if Superman grew up in the Soviet Union? And so it takes place in the past. It just substitutes like as an inciting incident where like Superman is Russia's hero and not America's hero. And that's where it diverges from DC history. So we have a Green Lantern, we have our Wonder Woman, we have an Aquaman. No, we don't have an Aquaman, but we have a Batman, and we have a really good. We have a Lex Luthor. We have a Lois Lane. We have a twist ending I've never seen before, done by a master of the Superman story, Mark Millar. And I'm going to put the link in the description. If you're not watching the Mark Millar interviews, Sully-Time, maybe you should start. I'm a huge comic book fan of a certain age. He's been interviewing the people that he's worked with, and of the outgoing generation. That they're now, we're all acknowledging the shift in publication and the shift in tone and how comics have changed. And a lot of them are just history lessons. You have Mark Millar interviewing like Rob Liefeld, Brian Michael Bendis, Dan DiDio. Hopefully he'll interview Karen Berger very soon. I mean, he asked the other day on Twitter, like, hey, is there anyone out there you'd like me to see me interview? And I was like, yeah, what about Karen Berger? Karen Berger was the editor of Vertigo magazines. Hello? If you don't know who Karen Berger is, look her up. And we learned this is Comic Book Shop-Style Conversations. Who's Karen Berger? Allow me to introduce you to Karen Berger, please. So these going long box diving, finding these two, yeah, and also what am I going to do with all of these trade paperbacks? I think I'm going to just put them in their own dedicated long boxes, and then maybe eventually put them on shelves. You know, I mean, I do have some of my favorite comic books on my bookshelf, but they tend to warp over time if you don't take care of a trade paperback almost in the same kind of fashion that you take care of your floppies. Their quality is definitely going to deteriorate over time. Yeah. Awesome. That was just some... We've got to get back to our... to my rebagging and reboarding of my Action Comics here. That I deduced I could be selling if everything was, like, you know, of great quality, which it is. You can see it just have some spine roll there. And that's it. I mean, look at that corner. That's a decent corner. A mini ding, a quarter ding, and a hemi demi semi ding. A hemi demi semi ding. Say that 3 times fast. Hemi demi semi ding. Hemi demi semi ding. Hemi demi semi ding. Well, fuck. Oh boy. Yep. And we're just gonna double these up because it's better than we had before. You do it carefully. Don't bend the pages. Probably should be sliding up the board and we just fold and seal. And yeah, so this is going to be, you know, so yeah, these would be $4 each at face value, but I'm not, am I going to get that? I don't think so. I mean, and you get, I guess, I don't know. I need to talk to other people and find out, like, you know, like my friend Cecil. You know Cecil. Cecil is love. Cecil is life. Cecil has an amazingly huge comic book collection, and he's selling it. He does online auctions where he's like, hey, everybody, I'm selling this Green Lantern 1 through 150 for starting at $2 here. First, you know, no, I'm kidding. But he sells huge chunks, and he's not looking up the value to them. He's like, no, I just want to get rid of them, make a couple of bucks on the side. They were fun while they lasted. I don't know what I'm going to be doing, where I'm going, but I can't take with me all this luggage, like all this, you know. I got to get rid of this stuff. You know, I'm not reading them. I'm holding on to them. And if somebody else out there in the world can appreciate them and love them as much as I do, see, I crumple up one. And I put it in the old one. Yeah, it's something about this plastic. It just doesn't... I mean, it's doing its job. Yet, it just feels so weird. And it's... Yeah. See? Yeah. Don't put them right on your floor. Chances are you're going to slip and fall on them. I have done that before. I was a little drunk, though, and I was like, well, that was a learning lesson. And let's not keep stacks of comic books on the floor. I mean, who hasn't? I mean, we're all comic book collectors here. Yeah. Just a slight ding on that corner there. Sides, and just a little bit of bend, a little bit of spine roll. But overall, I mean, geez, these are great condition. I would need someone else to tell me about the condition of these comic books. So this is issue 4. And hey, at least in the New 52, they tried to make some war comics. They went back with, you know, with just some like GI combat level stuff, and that was pretty cool. Suicide Squad, when they first started revamping Harley Quinn, when they made her, you know, the emancipated Harley. Oh God, Stormwatch. I think they really messed things up when they moved John Jones, the Martian Manhunter, from the Justice League origin over to this because they just, yes. Let's see. I love the look of this this is a new Superman origin story. This is like Superman Year Zero in a way. This was Grant Morrison's job to do, make the new Superman origin story for this new. And honestly, this Superman's already come and gone. This Superman's already dead. This Superman died to be replaced by the pre-Flashpoint Superman and Lois, who had their like 7-8-year-old son Jonathan with them, and that couple was living somewhere out there in the hidden multiverse. Seriously, yeah. I mean, this Superman's already gone. Yeah. Batwing by Judd. I love Judd Winnick. He writes good stuff. He used to follow me on Twitter, maybe, and then I noticed one day I was unfollowed, and I don't know if it's because of my adjacency or just because sometimes Twitter will unfollow people. It was just like, that's the score with following comic book creators on social media. It's very bipolar. It's very tribal. It's very distracting. Because I would like to be able, I would like to be able to buy comics. But would you buy comic books from someone that's blocked you on Twitter? Would you? I mean, why would you? I'm not, because I would feel like a sucker if I did that. I really would. Yeah, and these are, just some previews of this is the new 52. We had the Red Lantern series. We had Static Shock. That was cool. Static was a milestone character. Yeah, and just once again, retelling the Superman origin story. It gets retold over and over and over again. And something always gets added and something always gets, adapted. And, but it's still recognizable. It's still Superman. I guess the conceit that, Grant Morrison did in this run itself. What makes this Superman a lot different than other Supermans? Supermen? That would be, I think that's a multiverse. Oh, yeah. What makes him different than other Supermen? Would be, I guess, the reveal of the big bad. The big bad is someone named Vindictive, who is a fifth-dimensional imp. It's the same kind of people as Mr. Mixtickleplick. We did that episode last year. And what this thing did was, or this imp, what they did was they went back in the past and changed Superman's, gave him some tragedy. This whole, I think it's a meta notion on how does tragedy form the superhero. And so what Vindictive did was on Clark Kent's Smallville senior prom night was that he made it that Jonathan and Martha Kent were in a fatal truck accident, and that Clark lost both of his parents that night. Now, usually, seeing which origins Superman you go through, we have Pa Kent all throughout his Superboy years, and then Pa passes away. We see that in Superman, the movie, 1978. We see that in Zack Snyder's The Man of Steel, 2013. And but also during the 80s, after the crisis, they kept adult Jonathan Kent around. And so you had Superman's parents as a kind elderly couple until the new 52. They were actually the caregivers and the foster parents to Con-El Kent, who is a Smallville high school student. Superboy. Yeah, it was cute. You know what I mean? The 90s and 2000s were a nice time for comic books, in my humble opinion. But then, that's what Vindictive did, was put through some trauma in Superman's life. So this was supposed to be a different kind of Superman, maybe a more tragic, Hamlet kind of, maybe. No, but what he actually did was he sacrificed his life and brought back the pre-Flashpoint Superman, who was a little older. Remember, this Superman, and then now the continuity, would be in his late 20s if he was still alive. Just saying. Thank you so very much. We've been talking about comic books, and we're going to talk about comic books, you guessed it, every day for the rest of the year. So tune in tomorrow, 3 p.m. U.S. Eastern, and we'll find out who we're talking about when we turn the page tomorrow. Maybe I'll finally be done with boarding and rebagging Action Comics Volume 2, 1 through 18, including 0. And then we're going to sell it. Yeah, this is going to be the first thing we sell. We're gonna see how much we sell it for. We're gonna have fun with this. Thank you so very much. Please like and subscribe. If you haven't subscribed yet, just do it. Ding, bing, ding. Ring that bell. Ding that bell. Ding. Ding is now officially the show's mascot. You have never been the mascot. You are the producer. Have a great day. Like and subscribe. I would love to earn your subscription. We make daily content here. 3 p.m. U.S. Eastern. Daily comic book talk. Just for a few minutes in a day. You have a great day. Thank you. God bless. Namaste. Good luck. And we will see you again tomorrow in these very funny pages. Cheers. Bye-bye.